welcome to Vine and Table tonight. So we are on location.
First time.
And we've been talking about this for a little bit, you know, that we're going to be here. Yeah, actually we are.
Very jazzed.
So we've got a couple of scotches we're going to review while we're here. Mr. Dennis Lynch is going to aid our knowledge, general manager of Vine and Table, and nice enough to invite us to come and join us at the store.
Yep.
As you can see, our backdrop is much improved from our normal. Well, I mean, I like our own.
I like our bar, but it doesn't
This
have
is
300
really nice. I got the sleeping bag back here.
It's almost too nice for us, right? So tonight we've got a couple of different scotches, but the one we're going to do real quick right now is the Kilkerran by Glengyle Distillery. This is the work in progress number 7 sherry cask finish.
Right.
So
46% alcohol.
Glengyle, founded in mid-1800s. Apparently, 2 of the brothers from Springbank had a falling out over some sheep, and that led to the founding of the new distillery. And it was mothballed, and kind of the buildings themselves were used for other purposes for a long time. In 2000, the great-great-nephew of the original founder was able to get a hold of the buildings. They reconditioned them and turned them back into a distillery.
Started production in
2004.
That's right.
And they've released, this is the 7th iteration of the work in progress. So they're not a year apart. They started at a 5-year, when the whiskey was basically 5 years old. And they've released one every about 9 or 10 months or so. So they are up to number 7, and now they have released their 12-year, which we don't have currently, but it's apparently on the way.
It's on the way in the States, so
the one we're going to try tonight is sherry cask finish. About, what, 10 or 11 years old, give or take?
Probably. Yeah.
They don't really say.
It's kind of that's up for debate, I think.
Yeah, and that's part of the fun, right?
Yeah, it's a technically non-age statement. So
Right.
Now, what is their primary cask before they go into the sherry? Is it just
New oak?
New oak?
Ex-bourbon casks. So this bottle's about $70 here anyway. I don't know what you guys can get it, or if you can get it. There's only about 12,000 bottles that they released of this particular scotch. So you may or may not be able to find it. And we'll find out if you even want to find it.
All right.
Right?
Yeah.
That's part of the
Honestly, I can smell it from where it's been sitting.
Before we get any comments, since we're at Vine and Table, we're using their glassware.
Check that out.
It's Rydell, so you know it's not horrible. It's probably a step up from what we normally use, right?
I love it.
So 47% alcohol.
What are you getting?
$7 bottle. I'm getting smoothness. I get a little bit of, so it's Campbeltown.
I got some oak and I got sherry.
I got apple.
sweetness.
I got light apple. Maybe green apple.
Green
Is
apple.
that?
Yep, that's what I got too.
I was expecting more of the Campbelltowns that we've had are a lot more heavy, full body,
Right.
and this smells very light and fruity.
It does.
Is there any brine in there? I
don't
think
get
there's
any.
some-
Coastal. I call it coastal.
Yeah.
So you're not going to get that briny, that Talisker brine, that salty.
But it's almost got a tropical nose to
That's
it.
got some different.
It's got some floral and some fruit and
Well, it's down in the lower regions.
Oh,
right?
it's down at the bottom.
That's the very
Campbelltown,
bottom,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's down there.
Man, that
I got to
smells
put
great.
time on this.
now this is non-chill filtered. All their scotches are, and no color added. So natural coloring. And
This
it's a pretty little
40,
scotch.
46.
46.
It's 46% alcohol, and I think it's every bit of it.
You get a little heat on it. I mean, you do. But
It's got some will to it though.
Yeah.
yeah, that's a problem.
Oh, that is a problem. When your first drink of the day is 6
We usually
We should have done a warm
up.
up, but.
It's not my first name.
But we're not at the bar, so.
Oh, so now, so that's the thing about it. The way I love smelling, then tasting, then smelling, because now I'm getting more cherry in that in the nose than I was before.
Right.
It does have some heat, but it's pretty smooth. It's really,
Yeah, I mean, it's the alcohol, but it doesn't burn going down. I mean, at 46%, being the first drink of the day, my tongue is It's numb. I'm getting some alcohol sensation.
I think it's sweet and it's smooth.
Yep.
I think it's
you know,
light.
It's not at all what I was expecting from a Campbelltown.
No.
I really
I think
thought it
it's
would be.
the style that Kilkerran is kind of going for. It's for a lighter style of spirit to come off the stills. So
Yeah.
they weren't necessarily going for that kind of
Bold.
Yeah.
style. So
See, now in the second taste, I got a lot more oaky. I thought.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So that initial palate, is light. You taste alcohol, but that's expected. But it doesn't have a whole lot of deep rich flavors. But as you let it roll, I'm getting more of those oak. I get cherry and chocolate.
I get the oak and vanilla.
As it rolls back in
Right.
my mouth.
And some of the
That's
darker
what I'm feeling.
fruits.
I want to see what this water does to the nose. It's inevitable. Every time I put a drop on it, it opens something up.
Yeah, or kill something.
Or kill something, right. But at 46%, I expect this to hold.
I'm getting toffee now. Now that it's kind of sit or it's run through my nose.
Yeah, I get more of the vanilla. It smells
Yeah.
sweeter with a drop on it.
a little bit of marzipan.
A little bit on the marzipan. I hope you feel better,
See,
Sean. All right,
It's
so
interesting though you should say because I think it does show the 46% alcohol. It's a little bit spirited.
absolutely,
You know,
absolutely.
I don't know. It's kind of,
It's the lighter style of whiskey, I think, that shows up that higher alcohol content.
so what do you think of the water? You tasted it? It's different. It changed the taste for me.
Holy
It's getting like
moly.
fruitcake.
It's not
on
as
the
sweet
nose
as it used to be.
I think,
now it's smelling fruitcake.
honestly,
Really
it's
weird.
sweeter to me. It's smooth. There's no edge. There's no alcohol. It's 2 drops is all I put in there. Now, mind you, I didn't have much left, but it definitely smoothed it out.
It's not easy to use. It's not. You gotta roll it.
It smoothed it out a lot for me. It's sweeter to me. It doesn't. I don't get
Really?
the oak.
I got a lot more oak now with water.
Man, you
A lot
guys are
more.
killing me.
I get
Smalls.
oak, but I get the sweet, and I get a little bit of the nutty profile. That
Yeah.
I was going to say, I hate to give you props, but literally as I was drinking, I
but
smelled
not,
marzipan.
I don't get the marzipan.
I did.
But
Okay,
it's
so-
more of the actual almond
Yeah.
than the sweet almond taste.
So you started us off, so I'll kick us off on the review. It is a little bit hot, but you know that coming in at 46%, so it's not a surprise. I like what the water does, but there's things I don't like about what the water does. It smoothed it out and made it much softer because it's 46% can handle that. But I think I liked the flavor better neat. Just got to get used to the heat of it, which after your first or second drink, that's probably going away anyway. It's pretty light. I liked the nose, neat. I got a lot of fruit. Got a little bit of marzipan. At $70, I got to think about the price point and what I think about it from that perspective. And I hate to compare it, but in the back of my mind, I'm thinking Springbank. That Springbank that we tried, which was a hit. I really liked that. So I'm trying to compare the two, and it's not fair to do that because there's not many.
it's completely different
No,
styles.
there's not many Campbelltowns that we have to compare to. So I mean, we
Right.
got a ton of experience in the island, the other regions, our island even. But I'm leaning 2.25 here. I think I'm going to go 2.5 because I like the sherryness in it. I like the flavor. I need to get over the heat neat because I like the flavor better neat. I wish I could get the flavor of the neat with the smoothness of the water. How can I make that happen? You know what I mean? You know how you make it happen? You pour another dram. That's how you make it happen. So I'm going to go 2.5.
All right. Well, out of 4 fingers, if I were going to do a 4-finger pour, I'd give this a 2. 2-finger pour. And for a couple reasons. Number one, I like bolder flavors, so this is maybe not perfect for me. But what I do think is kind of interesting is you get a little bit of that, I'm tasting C in there, you get a little bit of that oak, and the sherry is subtle enough that it doesn't overpower what's already there. So you do get a little bit of that sweetness, but there's something about the new make in this has got to be, I guess, more what they're designing for, lighter flavors. Alcohol, alcohol content, that's fine. But in general, I give this a 2. It's one that I would have on my bar. It would be more of a probably a lighter day kind of summer for me because I like them heavier. But for the summer, this is probably a really nice light intro, get the day going, and then if we
A breakfast scotch, if you will.
If we do another one, then I'd be into that. So I'm going to go with 2 fingers.
Don't knock breakfast scotch.
No? All right, Dennis, you're up. What do you think about this?
Are you allowed to rate scotches based on your job?
Yeah.
Totally should.
And then this is your fate based on
I
your
know,
profile, not.
How many do I have left to sell?
Yeah, that's a good point. So you got to sell them.
No, I've liked a lot of Kilkerrans up to now. 2 very, very good ones. So, thanks guys, this is a treat to try out the work in progress number 7.
Mm-hmm.
It's an interesting one. I'll say it's straight off the bat, it's not my favourite Kilkerran to date.
Okay.
It's interesting, I love sherry casks, I love sherry finishes.
Mm-hmm.
There's something about the sherry in here that there's almost like a touch of sulfur on the end.
Mm.
And I think it's a little bit more noticeable when you add a drop of water. And it just, when it hits the back of your tongue, it's a little bit out of balance.
Mm.
I like it, I mean, it's got pluses to it, there is pluses to it. And the plus is that you get all of the kind of sherry characteristics, the nuttiness, the dark fruit, but the sweetness is kept in check. There's not a lot of sweetness here, which is nice. There's too many whiskeys out there
That are almost
over the top sweet.
top syrup. So this is nice. You got the sherry, you get the sweetness. It's kept to a nice level. It's a good whiskey, I won't say it's not a bad whiskey, but it's not a standard whiskey.
So out of a 4, what do you think?
I'm going to go for a 2, and I think that's probably a decent score.
Yeah.
Well, Drew,
I think it's a great score.
That's
Matches
right.
my perfect.
Follow that one.
Because he's not a dummy.
How do you follow that, Dougie?
I just say copy paste. It'd be easier for me.
He's a smart guy.
I agree with all 3 of you guys, especially with the sulfur. I think that the neat is for sure, for me, much better, more sweet. As soon as I added water to it, the sweet for me went away. It was more oaky, but that might be to the point where I wasn't getting the sulfur like you were saying. So it kind of makes more sense to me now. I'm going to go 2 as well. I think this is a really good scotch. It's not great. It's not, for a 2.0 scotch, it's drinkable on the shelf. I can drink it every day. I mean, it's just a really good, comfortable scotch for me.
Yep.
I'm going to go nice and 2. Keep it simple.
All right.
You're up, Marzipan Man.
All right. Well, disappointingly enough, I didn't get any marzipan out of this deal.
Oh my
And,
God.
I all day
And he knows
long,
what to look
I
for,
was
too.
I was waiting for the marzipan.
There's some marzipan.
They had a nutty quality, but I wouldn't technically call it
All right.
marzipan. So the initial neat was just a little bit hot. I think if it would have been a 40, it probably would have gone down a little smoother, brought out some of the sweeter notes, maybe made it a little better. The touch of water brought forward a lot of the oak, almost too much, and made it unbalanced for me. I lost some of the stuff that I was looking for in the sherry, but it was still a good glass of scotch. I've got no complaints about it. For $70, I think it's probably one that would be fine on everybody's bar.
Yeah. Sure,
Wouldn't have a problem with it. So I'm going to go with 2 as well.
An interesting thing I gotta say is I'm normally the guy that sniffs out the sulfur, right?
You are.
You didn't say one word?
I didn't say one word. He mentioned it. I stick my nose in it.
Don't tell me now you
And all I smell is McKellen, rubber. And I'm going, what the hell? How did I miss it? Well, I think because honestly, I smell it, but it's behind a vanilla. It's behind a sweetness that that sulfur is behind the sweetness, and it's masking it, right? But if I stick my nose in there long enough, it's like, hey, there's that rubber tire I was looking for, right? I don't know.
I don't know if that's good or not. But
Right. Well, that's the smell you get. But anyway, so.
Crazy about it.
it's not.
No, it's really
very
subtle. It's really subtle.
Yeah.
So the Scotch War shows I'm a 2.5 and 2's around the table, but I think it's a solid review.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
It's good scotch.
So
Campbeltown.
2.125 if you do your math.
Niner.
We're not going to.
But Vine and Table, thank you very much for allowing us to review
Kilkerran special.
No,
Work in progress,
progress
7,
seven.
sherry cask.
by Glenn Guile.
Thanks a lot.
Cheers.
Hey Scotch lovers, thanks for watching. Enjoy
joining the conversation.
More videos below.
And hit subscribe before you go so you can get the new videos when they come out.
Sláinte.
Cheers.